my name is Mark Billingham and this is my Birmingham story. I'm 59 years of age and I write crime novels for a living. And my story is essentially the story of how the two biggest passions in my life came about. My Birmingham story is the story of me growing up because I was born and I grew up in Birmingham for most of the time in Moseley. I didn't grow up in a house that was full of books, but every week my mum would take me to our local library in King's Heath and we'd take books out, and that was a trip that I just looked forward to every single week, and I just read whenever I could and whatever I could. I'd read at school, obviously, of course you have to read stuff at school, but that's stuff they make you read at school. These were books I was finding for myself, and then when I had the chance to save up pocket money and go out and buy books, I would do that. So books became enormously important to me, and obviously without books, without being a reader, I would never have become a writer, because one thing is not possible without the other. So without that library, without those trips every week up to King's Heath, I wouldn't be doing this for a living. I would not be now telling stories for a living. My other abiding passion for most of my life has been for music. And that came a little bit later because myself and my two mates, Dave and Simon, mates from school, every Saturday, without fail, from the ages about 14 onwards, 14 to 18, I think, we would get on the bus and go into town and spend the entire day wandering around the town's record shops. And there were a lot of record shops in Birmingham city centre back then. There were big chains like Virgin, where you could go in and you could listen to the records. You could just go, oh, can I put this on? And you'd be able to sit and listen to it. And there was a small independent record shop that I absolutely loved called Cyclops, which was up an alleyway, and I remember sleeping out overnight in that alleyway because it was also the shop where you could buy tickets for concerts, and I remember lying there with mates overnight in our sleeping bags so we could be the first in line to buy tickets the next morning. And there was a fabulous little record shop called Reddington's Rare Records that sold second-hand records in there. You could sell the records you didn't want, buy new ones, and we would spend hours every Saturday just browsing through that shop and through all the other shops trying to get the albums we wanted. So for me, my most abiding memories of growing up in Birmingham, and there are many, it's home after all, but are those two things, books and music. Music, still my abiding passion. I like to play it, I like to listen to it, and reading, without which I wouldn't be able to tell stories for a living today. And that's my Birmingham story.